Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to episode number 146. The date is the 18th of August, 2026, and I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Patrick. Joined with me, as always, on Ask the Accountant, is Johann Gorey. Johann, how has your weekend / last time we saw you been?
Busy, as always. We'll talk about more of it during the show, I'm sure, but safe to say I've had a busy week from both my firm and Engager's point of view.
Definitely. When we look at the show notes, that is definitely the case. Speaking of busy, first of all, big apology for last week. The audio was pretty diabolical, wasn't it? Yeah, no, I hold my hands up regardless. I did have a whole podcasting studio set up with me, so it wasn't lack of trying. It's just, I think we've learned that maybe that bit in between, before we go live, is actually quite important to do a bit of tech check.
Yeah,
definitely. We did it this morning, right? We were sorting out your visual issues, and we definitely need that time to make sure there's no audio issues, because listening back to last week was hard work. So anyone who
listen back to it,
anyone who did listen all the way through, we will find a suitable way to reward you. Maybe you get a top trump just for listening to that episode. But no, it was. We do apologise for that one. But yeah, thank you. But we wouldn't be here if it weren't for our wonderful community. Cheryl got there absolutely spot on. 8:30 a.m. on the dot. Good morning. Where has the sun gone again?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know about you, but
overcast.
Yeah. There's absolutely no chance of sunshine coming our way. A bookkeeping super, Natasha says, good morning to you, Natasha. Hope you are doing well. Kirsty St. John says, morning, everyone. For any Chris Evans, definitely a Chris Evans fan, and Carfest fans, 2026 will be at Silverstone. Ooh, maybe that's the Ask the Accountant meetup that we want to get ourselves down to Silverstone. I mean, are you a Chris Evans fan? Yeah or nay? I mean, in the fringe at the moment, it's difficult for you, isn't it? You kind of
got a lot going on at the moment. Yeah. Chris Evans, a lot. I'm not listened to him in a long time, but yeah, I didn't turn him off, if that makes sense. So.
But he's thrilled because his quote's got his next DVD.
Johann Gorey didn't turn my show off.
I'll keep him going. Stephanie, good morning, Stephanie. Hope you're doing well. Says morning, gents. Paul Ingram says good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Clive Hand, the QuickBooks accountant. Good morning, lads. When we changing the name there, Clive, are we going to go for QuickWorks anytime soon and push that brand? Interesting. For anyone who doesn't know, go follow Clive's socials to understand what I'm talking about by QuickWorks. Paul Whitehouse says, good morning to you, Paul. I flew over your house last week, so that was my claim to fame. Did a little wave. Don't know if you waved back or not. I don't know if that actually happened. And Cheryl says 2026. Yes, 2000. Carfest 2026. Yay, Survivor points for listening live. I mean, especially if you listen live, that was a tough one, wasn't it? It was a tough one. Sue Green says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Sue. And Mahal says, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone has a great weekend. A very painful journey this morning to work. Oh, no. I hope everything is okay. Hopefully it's a metaphorical pain and not real pain going forward. But no, we hope you're doing well. All right, we've got some really interesting topics to go through, some news and some other bits to cover. But first of all, we're going to be very selfish and talk about us. It's all about me.
If you thought last week's Survivor points were well earned, you've got nothing yet.
Yeah, exactly. Just a quick update on Ask the Accountant Network, where we are, how's it all going, everything else going forward. Obviously, we have this main show, goes live each and every Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. And we have the show going to our podcasting areas of choice at is it like 6 a.m. on a Wednesday? Something like that. It's early morning Wednesday anyway. It's supposed to be early enough that
it's there when I wake up.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be there for you every single Wednesday. But that's not all we have. We're trying to build a network. We have our QuickBooks Labs, which is our QuickBooks focused podcast. We have a free agent one in the works. Hopefully that sees the light of day some point. Yeah, nodding there. So that's great to hear. I didn't ask him beforehand how that's going. So throw him under the bus there. we filmed our Sage Savvy pilot last week, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one. And we potentially have a 01 in the works as well, which hopefully a certain member in the audience will be helping us run that one. That was our kind of then once we've obviously got Cool Friends as well, which is our staple show where we get our great idea of making sure you guys get presented and listen to all your wonderful stories, and that's how you get yourself a nice little top trump card. We have our podcast pit stop. We have our grid walks where we look around. We have quite a few things in the pipeline, and our MTD watch series is our newest addition to the family, where we take any topic. And again, don't want to throw you under the bus, but there's potential for an AI watch series.
Very up for that.
Yeah.
Just to stop everyone complaining that that's all I talk about on here and on Engage Alive.
So we take that gold, we put it into its own MTD, its own watch series, and we're in talks as well with a very special one-off watch series as well on a very important topic. So more on that when that comes along. So that's kind of our staple going series of content, and we've also have one in the background that we kind of come back to every now and again. It's our cool locations, and the idea of cool locations is we want to give you an idea to see behind the scenes of a cool location. And our previous cool location was really good, wasn't it? We went over to Canary Wharf. Well, is it Canada One? Have I butchered that? That's the name? Yeah. The biggest skyscraper in Canary Wharf, Canada One, and we went to see our good friends over at Apron and got to see behind the scenes, and it was really good, wasn't it? I think the content came out really well, but I think selfishly the best thing we got out of it was actually being in there, right, and being able to go in there, see what it was all like and everything else from that. So we love that concept of cool locations and being able to kind of give you guys a bit of it behind the scenes of nice vendors, but also we thought, well, why don't we try it with cool locations in you guys? Like, where do you work? Where do you listen to the podcast? Where do you all that sort of stuff that comes with it? So we pitched the idea a while back of let's try and figure out actually going to locations, as in going to you guys' places of work and showcasing it. And we did our first one, and unfortunately Johann wasn't able to make this one. I feel like everything we do at the moment, there's a conflict somewhere, isn't there, of like Mr. Jet Setter over there. Now he's got his own private yacht and jet and heli. It's just difficult to get that, bring it down. And then you were generally gutted.
Priorities on my diary, and
the week you had is probably the best idea was you not coming along, right?
I'm not sure I'd have been very focused on cool locations, if I'm honest.
Exactly, but you were good to not to come to this one, right? Because I think this is the one where
so envious of you. Like Guernsey. Oh, I've let it out of the bag now. But if anyone's seen social media, you know everything Guernsey. But Guernsey, just one of those places I've always wanted to visit. Of course, the TCS team are there, but more importantly, the history on Guernsey is phenomenal. And as a bit of a history fan, plus the scenery, etc. Yeah, I'm very envious that you were able to do that one and I was unable to attend. But got to take your priorities in life.
You have. And at the end of the day, we're here to keep our clients happy, and in your case as well, keep a whole community happy as well. Engage us. So fully understand. But yeah, we got the opportunity to go over and see the TCS team over in Guernsey. Just straight away, like off the bat, the hospitality from those guys was absolutely first class. Like literally, producer Lizzie landed in the airport. I was a few hours later because I was doing other things. She landed in the airport, and they greeted her with a giant size version of her top trump card. When people stand there with like a thing trying to say, "Here we are." Yeah, so she knew exactly what to kind of go through from there. We got to see the lovely Guernsey itself. The weather wasn't great, but that's what happens when new people arrive to the island. The weather goes It was still pleasant. It was just wasn't the sunshine that they probably experience now while we've all got overcast. We recorded a couple of podcasts while we're there. So Tim jumped on the Watch series podcast for MTD, and also we had a pilot episode filmed as well for Sage Savvy. So keep an eye out for that one. Then we got the opportunity to go around the location. We were filming the location. We did interviews while we were there. We played a little game with them. We played a bingo game with them because they're very EPOS heavy, and that was a right eye opener for me. Right, I've done quite a few videos on EPOS solutions, and I've got quite a few clients who I dabble in advising them on how to use their EPOS solution, all that sort of stuff. And then you go and see Tim's team, and that's how you do EPOS. It's like there's levels to this game. I'm down here, and he's all the way up there in his ivory tower. But no, watching them support their team, like with the hardware and software, and how making it really sticky, and hopefully you guys get to watch the end result, but we really go in depth into how that works and why that's such an important part of it, and why the clients of theirs love it, right? Because they're not just getting accounting bookkeeping services, but actually they're getting this whole other solution, this other business advisory part, which really helps them grow, right? Like some of because while we're filming, we're going in during the busiest times, yet they were like, there's no sweat. It was fine. They were just putting the system self-service kiosks. There was all sorts going on. It was really, really cool to watch. So yeah, definitely look out for that. And then we also had to look at other cool locations as well. So if we will definitely do this concept again, but I do highly encourage people to think about not just where you work, but why your area is so important to you. Like, why do you like working in that area? And that's what these guys did. They took us to, we went up a mountain where, well, it wasn't a mountain, but up a nice big part of the thing where we could see all over the sea, and they jumped into the water thing. You're there, aren't you, Johann? Have I lost you? Hello. Nope, Johann's gone. Have I gone though? Oh no. Tell me, people, am I alive or is Johann gone? Who's gone? Who's not gone? Help me. I don't know if it's me that's not live or... Oh, I'm there. Brilliant. Thanks for that, Kirsty. It's Johann that's gone. Oh, that gave me a mild panic attack when I didn't realize it was thinking that. All right, cool. Let me just stick myself on for now. We'll wait for Johann. I mean, the ironic thing as well, Johann has just got his brand new super fast internet. So yeah, I feel like that's going to be one of the problems. So, okay, cool. Let me finish my story of Guernsey, and then we'll get Johann back in when he comes back. Oh dear me. Anyway, so cool locations wise, so they took us to some really cool location, but one of my favorite bits, or one of the bits that they kept telling us about, was about jumping into Guernsey Sea. Now, I don't know about you lot, but if you kind of asked the opportunity to come jumping in the sea, I felt like it was a bit like Penelope's podcast, and that's kind of how it's going to be, in this nice warm sea location where you got this beautiful beach and maybe some nice little huts on the beach. That's the mentality that I felt like we were going to have for this beach location. Oh, he's got a power cut. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so yeah, Johann's 800 gigabyte thing's dropped. Yeah, so there was this cool location area. Here he is. He's coming back now. There we go. How's the power cut?
Everything's off. Everyone's alarms are going. So we've got no power, but thankfully,
so you sat on your iPad.
Yeah.
Nice one. I was just finishing off talking about the Guernsey cool location. So my favorite part about this trip was you come along to these. You want to kind of go do what the locals do, right? You want to be part of what they do, and they've been jumping in the sea a lot lately, and part of this little challenge they've been doing. So they invited us to come to this cool location where we get to jump in the sea as well. So I can imagine your thoughts there, Johann. You can think this beautiful sandy area with some beach huts in there, you know, some nice places to get changed. You'd probably some umbrellas up. But you know, you can picture it, right? Not quite in this location. We went into basically I would describe it as the harbour, and we jumped into the coldness there. And at first, it was, you know, this lovely experience where we're kind of bathing around in this harbourish area, and then comes by a massive ferry. And what happens when big ferries come by? When you're in the water, have you ever experienced that, Johan? You know, when a big yeah, exactly right. Especially, yeah, and remember, harbour's right next to a wall, and rocks, and everything else that goes with it. So yeah, so I had my first life ending almost experience when I almost died being in the sea in Guernsey. So that was good fun. And then we finally went over to a traditional show. We went down to what they call the West Show and everything else. And overall, an amazing experience. Really, really loved it. We've got some great content coming your way because of it. We've taken great videos, great content going through. And really just given us an opportunity to see how that team has gelled together, you know, how they've been able to have a bit of fun, have a bit of, you know, and everything else, and how they all have their own different roles and everything else. One of the team members is literally just for the EPOS side. Like that's what they do, right? They while we were there, they were opening up one of the EPOS solutions, changing a few things in, like playing around with the motherboard, all this sort of stuff, and going through from there. So yeah, a really, really cool experience. Thank you so much to the TCS team for coming along. And if you guys think of any other cool locations you think we should go and visit, then do let us know, because I think you're going to be really, really proud of, or really happy with the content, because we're really proud of the content that we've been able to get from there. So looking forward to that going live. Johan, you wanted to talk next about Engager and Adfin's launch. Do you want to go for it? Do you want to put it together?
Unlike my power is on. So yeah, no. While you were busy enjoying Guernsey, and I was getting very much FOMO, we were busy launching the Adfin integration into Engager. So that went live Monday night for all of our users from Tuesday morning. So yeah, just it's there, it's live, everyone's enjoying it. One of my new clients, so quoted a new client last week, sent him a letter of engagement. He accepted the letter of engagement, signed the direct debit details, all from his hot tub. And he was very impressed with the simplicity of it. So yeah, there we go. It's all live and working well. So that was it. I mean, have you migrated to Adfin yet? I don't think you have you?
No, I haven't fully migrated, but we do have the option to use Adfin. So full transparency, the reason we haven't fully migrated is just because it's way lower on our priority at the moment of stuff we need to get done. We're definitely interested at some point to move away from our current payment provider and move over to Adfin. It's definitely on the roadmap for us as a firm. It's just one of those where it's so difficult to get your clients up and running on it. Like this is out of all of them, like moving practice management was a breeze. Moving away from any other solution is pretty much a breeze, but you ask them to change their payment provider, that's really, really, really tricky. And I know Adfin's got some cool ways to help mitigate against that, but at the end of the day, it's just the friction of getting through, isn't it? But we have given the option to all new clients to use Adfin as an option. So I believe when you're telling your story there, you've ticked the box that say that, and for anyone who doesn't know, when you send out your EOAs now, or LOE should I say, when you send them out now, you have an option. Do you want them to compulsory provide the Adfin details, or do you? I forget the terminology, but do you want to give them the option?
Or not at all.
Yeah. And the idea then is they can't physically sign up with you if you've got that compulsory unless they provide the Adfin detail. Like literally that's how they can't sign the LOE until that's done, which is amazing, right? Like it's a really, really cool way of looking at it. But and so at the moment we've given our options for clients to, if they want to, they can provide it there and then, because we get that question all the time, right? Like, I've signed up, but how do I pay you? You know, and because it's a very manual process that we've currently got, till we've signed LOEs, then we can't even think about sending out the the mandate for direct debit for our provider. So the way that you kind of set it up, where it's optional or compulsory, kind of gives you that flexibility, right? And we're at the point of being optional. I'm going to be completely honest though, that scares me, because then we're going to have like a two-tier payment system going on, and that doesn't fit nicely with me. I think you've got to be one or the other, right? You can't be jumping between the two of them and like, oh, I've got this cohort of clients who are on this payment platform and this cohort on that one. From a risk factor, I suppose that's good, right? Because you're spreading your risk around. But when it comes to, trying to run the practice efficiently and everything else, it's just going to end up in having problems going forward. And I think that's fair to say. But you were able to migrate every single one over pretty much, weren't you? So you're in a better position than me, right?
Yeah, no, we were quite cutthroat with it. Back in January, I did it. And the admin processes and systems have come a long way since then. Like, our process back then was very manual, whereas now you import your customer list to Adfin, or you link all your customers to Adfin through Engager. You can send it all off in one bulk for all of them to get their mandates signed up, and then they start chasing them for you automatically. So we just emailed every single client in January and said, look, we're moving payment provider. Reasons are reduced costs, increased efficiency, etc. Benefit is we don't then, it's one less thing to have to bear in mind when we're reviewing your fees. So we kind of we explained that we're doing it for their benefit, which we were. And then we sent everyone their direct debit mandate, and the system just started chasing them until it was all signed up.
Nice.
And we just got on with it basically. And it's come in handy this week. There's 40 odd direct debit mandates that had to go out this week, and both done, nice and simple. And I don't have to worry about chasing them or anything, because I know the system will automatically chase them on email, WhatsApp, and text messages.
Yeah, and it kind of takes you to that next step, right? Where for me, the biggest barrier of entry on onboarding a client at the moment is just letting the client know where they are in that process. It's such a difficult conversation to keep on top of and everything else, because from a client's point of view, all they care about is, have they done everything they need to do to be a client, right? Like, have they ticked all the right boxes? They provided all the right data and everything else. And I feel like this step here gives another piece of the pie and the puzzle in Engager's world, right? Like, when you take on a client, I don't need to go to another third-party system to check if they have got a mandate up and running. I don't need to, do you know what I mean? Like, at the moment, I have a checklist, massive checklist long of have we onboarded a client, and too much of that is me having to go outside of Engager. Thankfully now I don't need to go and check the HMRC portal to see if we're authorized with them. Do you know, those are the sort of things that before I had to go there. And I feel like this is that next step of going, right, we've got all of the bits in there, hopefully one day there's a way we can tell our client that, like, give that information to our client, right? Like the world I'd love to see is a client goes into their portal and they know where they are in their onboarding journey, right?
Yeah, and we've got a lot of plans still to come out. The next phase for us is proposals that are coming out soon. And even if you don't use proposals, that's fine. If you don't want to send a proposal, then a letter of engagement, that's fine. You don't have to. But in amongst that update is the ability to see when the letter of engagement was generated, which we already do, when it was sent, when it was opened and read, and when your client last read it. So you can actually see they've opened it and reviewed it. So we're gradually evolving that onboarding process. And the team and I have got some very ambitious things that we want to achieve within that onboarding screen to make onboarding slicker for everybody on both sides. And that's looking like it can come to fruition at some point early to mid next year at the rate we're going. So this isn't a finished project. It's not a finished process. Adfin was just another stage. Like, some of our Engager users and our followers from a while back will probably remember June last year, like May, June time last year, I was talking about Engager Pay and would people find value in us doing that? Then I looked at what's called the FCA, realized this is not a game I'm going to get into. But yeah, so we were looking for, we've been looking at this for a very long time. It's not, these things aren't quick and easy to build. There's a lot of moving parts. So yeah, this is just another step in that slick, smooth onboarding journey that we're trying to deliver for our users and our users' clients.
Love that. I think this highlights more than anything, though, our reliance on data in terms of integrations, right? Because and you obviously have seen this more than anyone else, but you don't really think it through, do you? When you think, oh, I want that software to talk to that software because selfishly it's going to make it so much better for my life, right? And it could be anything that you're talking about. And in layman's terms, if you're looking at simplicity, you're like, well, surely they just connect together, right? You just tick one box, tick another box, and they talk to one another, and jobs are good, right? Obviously, you now know how much more complicated that is than it actually sounds, right? But prior to you knowing this, you would have been in the same boat of us. It's like, well, why isn't so and so not connecting to so and so? Like, what? Surely they should just have had that connection done already by now. Like, this is ridiculous. Why are we waiting so long for this to talk to this, et cetera, et cetera? Well, this has definitely opened my eyes, because I have never seen so many like conflicts in data than ever before. Like, we put United Kingdom when others want it to be UK, and it's something as simple as that. Well, then we've got to resolve that conflict one way or another, right? Either we force it through, and that's not fair on anyone, or you've got to manually check it, and then there's figuring out how have you found that? Because from what I can tell, you've got about 5 different databases you're trying to align, right?
Yeah. So Companies House stores information in a certain way. Zama, for example, stores information in a very similar way to Companies House. So we've always built around the Zama and Companies House database, but then QuickBooks and Xero do things differently. So, and then Adfin does things differently, and like you're trying to merge like simple things, right? So in Adfin, you have the ability for multiple contacts. In Xero, you have the ability for multiple contacts. In Engager, you have the ability for multiple contacts. QuickBooks, no. One contact per business. And their recommendation is, well, if you want multiple people to be emailed, you just put all those emails in the email box.
Mm-hmm.
Which you think, okay, but then that feeds back to us. Which means we're then trying to put all these emails into an email box. But that email box is also your client's email login details. So if you're trying to send an invoice to 6 people at the same time in QuickBooks, that requires 6 email addresses. Technically speaking, if you were to then want that client to log into their portal, they'd have to enter the 6 email addresses in the right order in one long string. And this is, simple things that, because Adfin deals with WhatsApp, +44 is mandatory in WhatsApp, which means it's mandatory in Adfin. It's not mandatory with us. It's not mandatory with Xero. It's not trying to tie these databases up has just been the biggest headache, and it's so frustrating because like you just think, oh, we're ready, we're done, and then you come across something, it's like, oh, come on, like, yeah, it has been the vein of my life for a long time, and I'm just the guy that's reporting and testing. Peter's the one that's got to go and fix all of this. So I mean, hats off to Peter and the Adfin team. Like, Adfin team have been making adjustments in how they store data and what they do with data for the last couple of months with us to help us get this done. Like even things like multiple lines addresses. So QuickBooks just wants it in one long line with commas. Companies House wants it separated into multiple lines, which means Zama wants it separated into multiple lines. Adfin doesn't care. They just want the first line and the postcode. Like, it's just, the amount of effort that goes behind trying to sync up these databases is phenomenal.
It's almost like there should be a standard out there, right? That's the standard that every software should go by, and every database in the world should have it in this format, in this way.
In theory, does something like mandating e-invoicing bring in a standardization to a degree?
Yeah.
Maybe, because should that not? Well, e-invoicing will require data to be like an address on an invoice to be a certain standard. Does that bring QuickBooks and Xero's standards in line with each other a bit more of how they store and format an address? I don't know, but yeah, it's frankly petty little things like that. Like, do I capitalize the postcode or not? Or Glasgow, I think it's the only place in the UK that doesn't have 2 letters at the start of a postcode. It's got 1.
Interesting.
So technically, it's G number. Unless you're at HMRC, then it's G space number. Because HMRC, like, well, there's got to be a character there, so it has to be a space because there's nothing there.
Space is the one. Yeah.
But then no database validation tool will accept the space because it's been told to expect letter, number. And it's just weird and wonderful stuff like that I come across almost daily and go, what? Eh?
But because, and it sounds like, you got power back of you, because it sounds like a system, like such a simple request, right? Like 2 databases talking to one another. Sounds like it should be straightforward. Sounds like it should be an easy win. Because it's caused so much friction and so much problem, it's put so much more barriers of entry to what, like, in theory, should be such a simple request, right? Every time we send out an LOE, here's a link, and they can make the payment there and then, or if they don't make the payment there and then, it's this and the other. But because of all these conflicts and everything else, our expectation is actually, no, it's not quite so simple. Actually, we've got to go back and add the admin integration to each of our individual clients, or we've got to have QuickBooks or Xero talking, or whatever it's going to be, right? Like,
people are baffled that I've got to link admin to each client. Well, of course you do. If you've got 3 John Smiths, how does the system know which one to associate to which? Like,
exactly.
You've got to establish that link to start with. Yes, it means a bit of effort in the first part, but then it saves so much time in the long run. Yeah,
100%. But it is, for me, it was like one of those things when Engager was first out there and first kind of like putting together, oh, well, surely you guys can make this work. And we've been waiting for it long enough in some of the rival softwares. It's just going to be an easy fix, right? This must have been one of the longest development cycles you've had to go through to release something with a third party.
One of the longest testing cycles we've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, the development wasn't too bad. That was in line with everything else we've done. But the testing has been far longer than we would have anticipated because of it all. So, yeah. Hey-ho, it's done now.
It's done.
It's live.
It's done.
We're moving on. We've got proposals. We've got Xenon. We've got all sorts coming up. And like, even tonight, we've got the second most highly voted for idea in our ideas list. Like, one of our developers has managed to sneak in and get it done. So that goes live tonight, and that's if you click on anything or try to exit your screen, we will tell you if you've not saved some changes, and ask if you want to save those changes. So yeah, it's back to nicer things like that, which we can control and we can make work.
Definitely. That's good to hear. Back to positivity, eh? Paul says, admin integration has changed how we engage. We are now a subscription-only firm for non-legacy clients. Loving that. That's a positive change, isn't it? And that's what you want to see, isn't it? That's what you want to give the team, give the community tools so that they can make positive impacts to their practice, right?
Yep, definitely.
Love Adfin's chasing. Had a funny reaction when a client for Adfin was a member of staff. WhatsApping him every few days. There we are. That works well. So yeah, that's got to be good that that's working as intended. Stephanie says there's a few in Birmingham as B. Oh, Birmingham as a B only, is it? and Central London is EC.
Central London doesn't trigger us. That doesn't cause us a problem because all we're looking for is the first two letters, because we know that there's EH1 for Edinburgh city centre, right? So we know sometimes there's only one number, there's not two. But Birmingham and Glasgow have caused me a headache.
Yeah. WCH1H, for example, in Central London.
Again, wouldn't be an issue for us because we've got WC in front, so that's us covered.
Yeah. Kirsty says, hurrah for the developments from software people that listen, probably because they actually use it. Yeah, that's a very good point, isn't it? Very good. How many times have we had this solution built in the eco chamber and to be released, to be gone? Have you actually thought this one through?
Who said this was a good idea?
Yeah, exactly. Anything else you want to talk about?
User? No.
Anything else you want to talk about with the Engager Adfin launch there, Johann? Cool. Nice one. Well, we'll give you other elements to it. Oh, Sheffield is just an S as well. Oh, another one to add to your you're not getting a Christmas card from Engager list. Anyone in Sheffield, by the sounds of it. Okay, I'm gonna give you a something I learned from our cool locations list, and I want to pitch an idea to you. Right? Imagine a world, a parallel universe, if you will, where you signed in to your tax area. So you signed into your agent services account or your traditional tax one. Let's say it's agent services account because we want to keep it modern, right? So you log in into HMRC and you log in. Imagine a world where there's a client list, first of all. Ooh, now you're interested, right? Imagine that client list also had a status bar next to it of what status that client was at. Is it filed? Is it not filed? Or whatever the statuses are for that particular tax period. Imagine also that it told you which team member you've assigned that client to. And in the portal, we're not in software. We're logged in directly with HMRC. Imagine a place where it also told you what the liabilities outstanding was. Imagine it also in the top left-hand corner told you exactly how many clients you had and how many clients were still to file for that given tax period. Sounds far-fetched, right? It sounds almost like science fiction.
It sounds like someone's actually listened to the accountants and bookkeepers using the product.
What, like Kirsty says it? Yeah. Imagine that world actually already exists and it was Guernsey. So I was blown away by this, right? Blown away. I mean, some parts of it is a little bit backdated. Like for you to do a 648 in Guernsey, you fill out a form. Apparently there's a digital version as well, but it looks like it's very thingy. You email that form to someone, and in a couple of hours, like 72 hours, whatever it is, it then appears on your list. That's their 648 process.
Okay.
The benefit of that one, though, is you don't even need to put in the UTR number or the national insurance. So they're nice enough to try and find that bit for you, as long as you've provided enough bits for you, right? And they'll fill that bit in, right? But yeah, very manual for them sort of. But the idea that we have a dashboard, and that dashboard just gives us all that information. And imagine then they gave us an API link, and Engager could come along, grab that information, populate it into Engager land as well. Like, that's the dream, right? That is the dream. How has the Guernsey tax system that charges 0% on their corporation tax, so can't be swimming in cash at this point in time, not making all that much money. How have they been able to build such a albeit a little bit outdated system, but it's still a much more user-friendly system from the accountant's point of view than we can? And ours is a brand new Making Tax Digital, built from the ground up solution.
Because no one at HMRC has ever sat in an accounting or bookkeeping firm and gone, show me how you use this. Show me what would be useful. They've gone, developers, we need X. We need a portal. And developers gone, oh, okay, we'll do this. No consultation whatsoever.
It's madness, isn't it? Madness. I mean, we can't even get a client list. And on the client list, we were talking about it off air, but we'll just let everyone else know. I finally found the first reason, and I still don't believe this is a real reason, but the first reason that makes kind of sense to why we don't have a client list on our client portal in HMRC from Making Tax Digital. The reason is just in case someone leaves your firm, what if they download that client list? Might drop moment, eh? Might drop moment. That is the reason, or the potentially the reason why we don't have a client list.
The fact that every other software shows you the client list and you can export it from any other software you use in your firm. It's all right because HMRC don't let you do that easily.
For audio listeners, that was pure sarcasm from myself, at least. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better solution. You know, yes, their promises, or that their argument is that software should be providing this. It should all be API based. Why should they spend the money building a database for us to use? But for some practices, they don't have that software. For some practices, that database is too big. There's always reasons why. Just having
these APIs can't handle that kind of information to start with. So
yeah,
build the APIs first, then tell us it's our fault.
We've proven it time and time again with that, right? Like, and as we've always said, that has far much more meat on the bone. That if we have to do a bit more manual work, we'll get through through grated teeth, right? But we will get that bit done, and we'll just accept it and we'll get it done. But yeah, it's just so yeah. So just so you know, out there is a better tax system, a better dashboard, a better everything. In a little island called Guernsey. So maybe one day, maybe we can get HMRC to go for a trip to do their own cool locations. And they'll go, oh, this is a great idea. But I doubt it indeed. Paul says, apparently I updated my mobile with HMRC and got a letter confirming the change, but it's still sending two-factor authenticator to my old phone. Not so smiley face emoji. Yep. We feel your pain. I mean, the two-factor authentication alone is just like, yeah. And the thing about the Guernsey one is they're encouraging you to have multi-user access, because that's one thing with HMRC. They don't make that easy, right? Like, it's a real pain to go in and set everyone up on HMRC. And that's how, for every logical sense, you'd have everyone have their own unique login details and they'll go into HMRC. But in reality, that's never going to happen with the HMRC's current system, because it's just not built that way, right? Like, we have to have one centralized code. We share that password around, which is ridiculous. And we get, it goes against everything we know is right to do, but it's the only way we can make the system work for us, right? In Guernsey, they've made it very, very apparent that they want you to have user access, because you then allocate the clients to those users, and you have that mini kind of thing from there. So very, very frustrating. But hey, maybe there's an option out there to make it better. Johann, you said you've been busy, and it sounded like admin was busy for you, but apparently that's not as busy. You had more capacity. In fact, if anything, you were idling along with the admin acquisition. Admin. Yeah. So talk me through it. What else has made you significantly more busy this period?
So Monday lunchtime, I took a phone call from someone that I knew. Needed out of her practice ASAP. Like, some things have changed, and she, priorities have changed and needed out quite urgently. So Monday lunchtime, took that call. Monday evening, we signed share purchase agreement, and Friday morning, we completed and had taken over the firm. So nothing major, just 70 odd clients, but it was nice just to be able to help her out, because things weren't in a good place for her. The business was really well run. The business's systems are great, etc. Really nice clients. But things have changed pretty urgently, so wanted out. Just pleased to be able to step in and help and make her life a bit easier, basically. So Engage On Point acquired Stellar Accounts Limited. First thing Friday morning, we did all the completion stuff, and my team are out having calls and meeting the new clients. It's nice to be able to do it in such a short period of time. A couple of late nights on my end, but the rest of the team weren't involved. Like my whole team were just focused on their normal day-to-day stuff while I got that done behind the scenes. But yeah, so just another wave of clients to pick up and spread amongst the team and stuff. So yeah, like not taking on, there's no employees at Stellar accounts or anything, so we're not having to worry about any of that. So yeah, just, you know, you never know what's in store for you for the week ahead, do you? Like when we were last on a call and we couldn't hear you from the train station, you know, no idea that was going to happen last week, but opportunity comes knocking, you get on with it, and you get going. And what's this, the fifth one? And ironically, that's the third acquisition I've done in 4 Augusts. So August is obviously the month of the year that I like to do an acquisition.
That's why it begins with A, right? August for acquisition.
That's it. Yeah, it all adds up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, no, I mean, all on Engager, so that was a very quick, easy export import job for me. So yeah, it added a bit of variety to my week.
Nice.
Any plans I had were thrown out the window. Crack on with that. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it shows really that for us to do that in literally 3.5 days, to be up and running for 70 clients, shows A, our systems and processes are pretty spot on right now, and B, that once you've done it a couple of times, you can kind of know the roadmap and how to get on with it quite efficiently.
Yeah, and it helps that you've got agile systems, right? Like if you were still stuck in more, traditional systems, it wouldn't have happened, right? There's absolutely no way you would have been able to achieve that. But the fact you're able to agilely kind of go in and your team can adapt to that, right? They'll find the capacity to put it through. So good on you. That's
that
good
was
news.
the other part, was we had the capacity to do it. Both not just last week, but the client managers had the capacity to carry on the extra work going forwards. So yeah, no, it was good, and literally we agreed it Monday night. Tuesday morning, bulk email went out to the clients from the owner saying something's happening, blah blah blah. This is what's happened, blah blah blah. I followed that up about 2 hours later with another bulk email from my end, introducing myself and the business. Did the imports, the exports, transferred all the licenses, so zero only firm, so they were nice and easy just to transfer straight over to me. Apron are transferring clients behind the scenes for us from one software to another.
Oh, so they can do that, can they? That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's not the quickest process, and it's something you need to ask them to do, but they can do it.
Wow.
And then like Adfin, just linked them all up. Once we'd imported them into Engage and linked them all up to Adfin and sent out the direct debit mandate requests in bulk, they're now being chased automatically. So yeah, it was a fairly painless process. The thank you email I got from the owner saying thank you for making this so much easier than I ever envisaged it would be, that was the overall highlight for me, like showing that we've actually nailed this now. We can do this quite easily and efficiently and painlessly for everybody involved.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Oh, good to hear. We'll look forward to next August. And we'll find out who else you've acquired. If anyone's got their bingo card that says Johann acquired someone in August, well done. Tick that one off the list. No, it's really good. Really good to hear. Final bit of news we've got today is from the world of Apple. And there is there's a rumor going around. So this is all rumor based, but I do believe this is a rumor that I think is going to really be impactful for the accounting industry, or our industry, should I say. And there is a potential of a very, very cost-effective MacBook. They're rumored around £500. Well, there's $500, wasn't it? But let's say it's equivalent of £500. And it's a rumor that this particular MacBook will be run on basically an iPhone chip, but the same iPhone chip that's in the most advanced iPhone there is, the flagship phone there is. So not a slouch by any point of contention or anything like that. But if this is true, and again, this is what you call it? This is rumors that we're looking at the moment. If this is true, wouldn't this, with that Mac Mini as well, so the smaller desktop equivalent you got, wouldn't that be pretty much a no-brainer for all accounting firms just to go, right, well, that's probably the easiest solution to set up,
Because what are you paying these? I mean, this is how out of touch I am with Windows world, but you've got to be paying between £500 and £1,000 for a decent Windows laptop that will do what you need it to do. And let's face it, in the accounting world, we're not really software dependent anymore. Like, it's all web-backed browser. If you are software dependent, the majority, and rightly so, are able to work on Mac or Windows without any issues. So my experience from Windows was every 3 to 4 years, and I still have this experience with my team who are on Windows devices. Every 3 to 4 years, I've got to pay to replace the laptop because it's given up. It's not a case of, it's damaged or it needs an update. It's just slow and actually making my team inefficient. Never have that issue with Mac. So, like, my whole senior team, like my head of accounts, my operations manager, etc., all operating on MacBooks, MacBook Airs. So to then roll out an affordable MacBook to the rest of my team makes complete sense to me. And if this is an item that gets released, then there goes the power again. And if this is an item that gets released, then as those Windows laptops come up to slow pace, I will be sending them out, replacing them with MacBooks, because they had a MacBook originally, because we've got the MacBook Air and we've got the MacBook Pro at the moment. 2017 was when they last had a MacBook. But yeah, I mean, the chips in our iPhones are far too powerful to be in our iPhones. So it makes complete sense that you could run a good laptop off the back of that. So yeah, no, I really like this idea.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, even if because we don't, again, it's all rumors, so we don't know. I imagine if it is very similar to the old MacBook that you're referring to there, and we actually have one in the house, right? And it is a really nice machine, but back then it was Intel based, so it wasn't great. It was really slow, sluggish, everything else. But as you said, like the chip already in our iPhones is far too powerful for the iPhone. So sticking that in the MacBook will fly, right? And it will still be as responsive as you need it to be for the tasks that we would need it for in the accounting world. But even if, like, I imagine it's going to be a smaller footprint, but I don't think that's a big problem, right? I think that's the right way to go for these devices, right? And even if it's something that 90% of its life just sits on a desk connected to a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse,
which
absolutely fine for me.
Unless you're a business owner, the majority of employees' laptops do that. Like,
but you just have that flexibility that if you are having to run out to a client, or you've got to go to a training, or whatever it's going to be, right? Or you're off on holiday.
Work from home today.
Yeah, you're off on holiday. You don't quite have enough holiday days to use, or whatever, or you just want to keep on top of some project, or whatever it's going to be. You just whack it in the back. And if they're going to be that small and that light and that everything else, then you don't feel like you're taking up valuable space. It is literally just a nice to have in your bag, just in case sort of thing, isn't it? And my ultimate goal from this would be that if it is the iPhone chip just taken from one to the other, then surely that means we're going to have cellular connectivity in there as well. So, relatively cheap way of just keeping your whole team connected via the, if you do have a power cut like now, they could run off the 5G, and it's got a power bank already built in. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no stopping them from just keeping on top of emails or whatever it's going to be while
we'll see cellular mobile connectivity in a MacBook. I don't think we'll see it in the MacBook Air for another couple of years. rumor has it will be in the Pros by January.
Fingers crossed.
The M5 MacBook Pro that's due out January, February time is allegedly having 5G connectivity built in, which for people like you and me who are out and about so often traveling, that's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it's an instant must buy. Like that is the only thing I'm waiting. Like my MacBook's now what, 5 years old? Like it's due an upgrade, but I refuse to upgrade it until that one feature's there, because that is the one feature that will completely change the way. And I went out my way to buy a Windows laptop, right? Just because it had a 5G, 5G connectivity in it. You know, unfortunately it fell, and unfortunately it's now smashed. You know, what a shame that I can't use that anymore. But it was so frustrating to try, even though it had, from a hardware point of view, everything you can imagine. It was touch screen. It was basically an iPad that you could connect a keyboard to. It had 5G connectivity. It had all the bells and whistles. Like everything from a dream laptop point of view was there, but the operating system just made it so frustrating to use, right? And I wasn't as efficient. And I might as well, you know, lug around with me a portable 5G modem for my, you know, for my MacBook Air, and just use that, because I was so much quicker doing that and being more efficient and having controller and being able to just get the work done, right? And it doesn't matter what device you have, you just want to get the work done. And I think that's what this, if this rumor's true, it will be a more than capable machine to get the work done. And I think it'll be one of those that probably makes sense to, if it's small, if it's as small as they say it's going to be, you just have one to whack in a bag anyway, that for me and you to go, you know, so we don't have to take the MacBook Pro with us every time and lug that all around, right? Again, we love the idea of working just on an iPad, but sometimes we need the MacBook to get it done. And if it's got cellular connectivity and all that sort of stuff, I just feel like it's an absolute no-brainer, doesn't it? So fingers crossed that this it's more than just a rumor. We don't know time frames or anything to do with this. Could be a rumor. We imagine it's next year, but yeah.
The Mac lineup's normally January, February time. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Pro, an Air, and the MacBook then.
Yeah. And then there's like the Mac Minis, and no need to upgrade that anytime soon, right? That's had its upgrade thing. And just having that Mac Mini there is another option, right? So you could have, for your employees who definitely don't need a laptop. But I'm, you know, if it is as cheap as that, I would always opt for that, you know, MacBook over a MacBook.
Ultimate flexibility,
yeah. And again, power, like, you know, you're having now, like power cut now, it's just going to work, isn't it? It will, you know, you might not be able to do all your work during that time, but at least you can still be online and still contribute, clearing emails, whatever it's going to be, while you wait for the power to come back on. And that's, you know, the difference of having to, you know, stress about it and just, oh, well, that's a shame, power's off, but carrying on. You know, there's definitely a world where that's going to be beneficial, right?
Definitely. Yeah. No, I can see that being the direction we would take in my firm going forwards.
Yep. Right. Okay. Well, that is it. That is the end of today's Ask the Accountant, episode number 146.
No AI news.
No AI news. Yeah. Now you've said it. Now it's gonna. It'll be in the algorithm. No, but yeah, no. It's great to kind of go back to some other news topics that come in there. I mean, we'll be completely honest with you, from the world of accounting news, it is very quiet at the moment. I think a lot of people are on holiday, but we will always find topics of conversation to keep you entertained. So yes, come and join us every Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. and we can talk about it there. So thank you everyone for coming along and giving us your messages. Thank you for everyone who jumped in to say that I wasn't all by myself when I did jump off, because I was at one point going, is it me or is it him? Hello. But no, thank you everyone for keeping me honest on that one. That's very, very appreciated. Jan, what's your plans for this week? Talk me through it.
I'm hoping to get back to 2025 where you have power. But so that'll be my first challenge, because I mean, I've got enough power banks. It's not going to be an issue. But yeah, so we'll see how we get on with power this week. What am I doing this week? Oh, power! Speak of the devil, each other here. No, I'm at home all this week, meetings, calls, etc. September, I've got this week and next week, and then September onwards is just crazy for me. I'm all over the place. So just enjoying the last 2 weeks based at home, basically, before I go start touring the country.
Love that. Mahu says, thank you very much. No, thank you for joining us. Paul says, thank you. Kirsty says, who knows, you might buy another firm this week. No, he's only allowed one a year.
All it takes is
not one of us on our bingo card has not one of us on our bingo card has 2 acquisitions in August. And Susanna says, have a great weekend. Have a great week to you as well. Clive says, amazing show, lads. Thank you, Clive. Thank you so much for listening. That's it. So we'll see you all next week. My week is pretty much the same as what you said. I am looking forward to a week in the office, getting stuff done. We've got a lot going on at the moment, so I'm very, very happy with that. Right. Okay. See you all next week for an exciting episode of Ask the Accountant. 3, 2, 1. Bye for now.